Hello everyone, very good morning. Welcome to StudyIQ English. Welcome to the Hindu newspaper analysis class with me. I'm Saumya and I'm extremely happy to meet each one of my dear aspirant today. That's for 5th December 2025. Let's look at all the UPSC relevant articles from the Hindu newspaper. And yes, we will be looking at the New Delhi edition for the day. So very good morning there. We have Sitaram aspirant, Terukula, Priyanshu, Rishi, Ramu, Bulbul, Anup, Ravi, all have already joined us. And as other dear aspirants keep joining, let's now initiate our discussion on today's UPSC relevant articles. So today, if you see on your screen, I have picked up about 8 articles for you. The first 3 articles are editorial articles today. Yes, we will look at 3 editorial articles today. That's from page number 8. After that, the remaining 5 articles, yes, obviously we are going to talk about President Putin because he's our guest right now. He's in India being given a very warm welcome, but at the same time, there are certain points that he is making, not just about India-Russia defense deal, but also about America. America is the white elephant in the room right now. So we will talk about that as well. Definitely, we will look at a new initiative taken by India's Postal Department. As well as we shall also see how the Supreme Court is very concerned about those booth level officers who are responsible for conducting the elections on ground. But today it looks like the election work is too much, creating a kind of exhaustion, some kind of stress and burnout among booth level officers. So, what is exactly going on? Plus, a very interesting initiative that has been taken by Bengaluru International Airport. And along with that, a very small case study. Just like we eat a dessert after a full meal, a small case study comes as a dessert in the end. That you can probably use somewhere in GS paper 3 or 2 because it comes from a tribal belt of India. There has been a very sad episode of carbon monoxide leakage. Okay, and that's dangerous for human body, so we will look at that as well. So now let's start with the first article for the day, page number 8, editorial. The article has been written by a former director of Intelligence Bureau, and the article is looking at India's difficult foreign policy choices today. The world has changed a lot, and today India is also in a dilemma about how to position itself as a growing economy, as the voice of the global south in a rapidly changing geopolitical world order. So before I begin, good morning Sangha Mitra, my dear Kochumba is here and Chandrasekhar and Iba is also here. So very good morning everyone. Anup has also joined us, so has Ravi. Okay, so I welcome each one of you and Reshma is here as well. Did I see Reshma? Yes. Good morning, Reshma. After a long time, I'm seeing you. God bless you, dear. Most welcome. Okay, so let's keep others joining in and let's begin our discussion then. First article, editorial page. Yes, this is GS paper 2. If you do a topic mapping, which we always do, this is GS paper 2, international relations, because we are looking at India's position in a quickly changing geopolitical order of the world. What does the article say? Article is saying India's current geopolitical situation is a very debatable and a very confusing one. Today, not only under External Affairs Minister Mr. Jaishankar, India has proudly announced that India will strongly abide by the policy of non-alignment movement part 2. Part 1 was the NAM that was announced and initiated by India's first Prime Minister, Shri Jawaharlal Nehru. Back then, India had to take that call because India was a developing, newly independent economy and India did not want to align itself with the politics, with the Cold War between USSR, the previous Russia, and the United States of America. But today, so many years after that, the reality is changing. Today, India agreed does not favor any one particular person, but today India has become a very independent minded country. No wonder time and again, whether it's about the Israel Palestine issue or whether it was about the Russia Ukraine issue, whether it was about President Trump giving us the tariff threat and expecting us to get scared, which we did not get scared about, and we continue to import and deal with Russia on our own terms, or whether it's China. regarding the line of actual control, the recent Arunachal Pradesh controversy about how one Indian citizen was held and harassed by Chinese authorities. If you look at all these episodes, one thing is clear. Today, under India's new government, yes, we believe in non alignment movement too. That is, from non interference in anybody, from non bias towards anybody. Today, we are doing bias on our own terms. Yes, we are doing bias, we agree. But we are doing it on our own terms, and this phenomena is therefore known as strategic autonomy. Now, do remember next year when you're writing the mains exam, for those who will take the mains exam, although I pray from the bottom of my heart that at least my newspaper class community, everybody clarifies. Everybody clarifies and clears the prelims, and you are able to write the mains. I really want you to write the exam. And if you write the exam, which I am hoping you will, then for GS paper 2 international relations, I really expect this question to come. Strategic autonomy. It was in the news throughout in 2025 because today India believes in doing what is good for India. India does not believe in making permanent friends and permanent enemies. Why? Because we had become very close to America, particularly President Trump's regime. But as soon as the tariff attack came, as soon as the pressurization came to buy corn, to buy oil and petroleum, as soon as the H1B visa controversy came, India understood that no, it is not the time for permanent friendship or permanent enmity. It's in fact the time of very good Rahul of dictating our national interests on our own terms. Why? Because we often think that China is India's enemy, but at the same time, we have seen in the past when America put unreasonable tariff on us, China stood with India to actually criticize that tariff, although it was just on paper. But at least China gave us that vocal support. At the same time, China and India are trying now to reinvigorate their relationship after a long time. Yes, so that's why today no permanent friends, no permanent enemies. It's all about seeing your benefit and acting accordingly. In this situation, today this article is asking a question to you that despite being known for our strategic diplomacy, India is right now unfortunately viewed as an observer in the global politics. India is being observed, is being seen only as an observer in global politics. Why like that? Why do you think that's the situation? India today is one of the rising economies of the world. Yes, we have strongly proven the message of strategic economy, as Rahul has just commented, from unipolar to multipolar, from dictating our interest on our own terms. But then why do so many countries look at us as only an observer rather than an active participant, rather than an active global player? Especially when it comes to problems like West Asia crisis, Israel, Palestine, Iran, when it comes to European crisis, immigration problem, when it comes to the disagreement between America and EU about the Russia-Ukraine war and the NATO membership of Ukraine, or whether it be about the Indo-Pacific, why is India seen as an observer? Why is it not seen as an active participant and only an observer? That's the question article is asking. Because the article says recently when there was regional instability in South Asia, at that time it was India who only played the role of an advisor, the role of an observer rather than playing a very active role. A very good example here can be Afghanistan and Nepal. Today, look at India's geopolitical situation. If you just look at the sandwich situation of India, we are critically sandwiched from all the sides. A very good instance here is Afghanistan. Afghanistan under Taliban is highly unstable. We know that the border of Pakistan, Afghanistan has been seeing continuous conflict and missile attack. It is also a very sensitive border because Taliban does not recognize the Durand line, and we have discussed before how the Afghan-Pakistan border is the house of so many terror organizations like Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, or the fragments of Al-Qaeda, ISIS, the Taliban, Pakistan. Now, all these mean that India is also in a very, very unsafe situation. That is on the western flank. Now, look at the eastern side. What has happened in Bangladesh? In Bangladesh, whatever token democracy existed is now finished. ever since Ms. Sheikh Hasina has been ousted. Today, the new government of Bangladesh is not just against India, but they have also been inflicting a lot of torture and a lot of racial attacks on Indian community. That means Bangladesh is highly unstable. In fact, as Ms. Sheikh Hasina has been given the life imprisonment or the death sentence by International Criminals Court, Crimes Tribunal in Bangladesh, now India is in a very difficult situation whether to deport her or not. So India-Bangladesh relation is also on acid test right now. And now if you look at the northern territory, if you look at Nepal, what happened in Nepal when the Prime Minister Oli's government fell down, replaced because of the Gen Z revolution? That is again a very sensitive situation. And now look at our long standing enemy, Pakistan. What has Pakistan done recently? Pakistan, I have told you, has passed the amendment called 27th and 26th Amendment to Pakistani Constitution. And what does that mean? It means that with these two amendments, military has been given too much power. The senior level officers, including the Chief of Defense Force, Field Marshal Asim Munir, these people will never be held liable for any crimes done by them. They are being given an upper hand at the cost of parliament. That means Pakistan is almost slipping into military dictatorship once again. The most unfortunate reality is that even countries like Saudi Arabia and America, who used to be very good friends with India, are today happily recognizing Mr. Asim Munir, General Asim Munir. He is seen having lunch with President Trump, and then he is seen having various kinds of pacts and policies being signed up, such as the SDMA with Saudi Arabia. So India is in a very, very sensitive situation with regards to Pakistan also. Now you look at Maldives and Myanmar. If you look at Myanmar, Myanmar is permanently in a state of political instability. The junta of Myanmar has been responsible for repeated coups. Every time there is an attempt of a democratic election, the junta destroys that. From 2021, there has been no long-term peace in, Myanmar as well. The worst part is there are many communities. There are many communities, you will agree, in Northeast India. Kuki Chin community, who share a very cultural similarity from the Kuki Chin area of Myanmar. That means there is a constant influx of refugee across the border. So you see, India is not in a safe situation, and added to this misery is the daily threat of terror attack. Now you won't believe, day before yesterday, there was an attack. I don't know whether it was a fake announcement or was it a real threat. The threat came from Jaish-e-Mohammed, and it was about bombing various infrastructure in Bengaluru. Similarly, it has become very common that schools are receiving bomb threats. At the same time, recently the Red Fort bomb blast happened. Plus, there is constant cyber warfare. The GPS spoofing in Delhi is a recent reminder. All this means India right now is in a very, very sensitive situation diplomatically. Although we are the voice of the global south, although, yes, today we are meeting President Putin. Very soon, we may also finalize a new defense deal with America, but we are right now sandwiched between various dangers. As you just saw in this article, Afghanistan, Pakistan, very unstable. Nepal, Bangladesh, quite unstable. Myanmar, unstable. And then is the danger of terror attacks and radicalization. It is in this situation of compounded vulnerabilities that India is having hostile neighborhood. As I just mentioned, Pakistan's 27th Amendment Act that has now empowered the military. Creating the post of Chief of Defense Forces gives Field Marshal Asim Munir a complete control of armed forces and nuclear assets, and that's a dangerous thing to happen. History has shown from the time of General Pervez Musharraf to now, to the time of General Asim Munir, history is witness that military dictatorships are not stable. They are unpredictable and they are very hostile. It always leads to miscalculation, proxy wars, and escalation of direct confrontation. So India right now is in a dangerous situation. Look at Bangladesh. What if we deport Miss Sheikh Hasina? Is that justice that we will do to somebody who India has given refuge? Now, very interestingly, long back during 1971, when Bangladesh was becoming an independent country and India under Prime Minister Miss Indira Gandhi had supported the creation of Bangladesh through the Indo-Pak War. That time it was Miss Sheikh Hasina's father, Mr. Mujibur Rahman, who had found refuge in India. These many years later, history repeats itself. Today, it is Miss Sheikh Hasina who has taken refuge in New Delhi. So, should India deport her, as Bangladesh is demanding? Should India say no to that? Because it's against human rights. Now, Bangladesh also has done something more shocking. Bangladesh has recently restarted its military ties with Pakistan. Do you know it was in the news? A Pakistani naval ship has recently visited Bangladesh after 50 years. That means this is a strategic alignment and that could work against India. Yes, is that not dangerous? That is dangerous. That's very, very dangerous. It also means that the area of Bay of Bengal is also very, very dangerous for us right now. Very dangerous. We have seen in the news recently the Sir Creeks dispute is also happening. The tidal estuary between India and Pakistan that passes through the area near Gujarat. That was again one episode that was in the news, creating some maritime insecurity. And now, as Bangladesh and Pakistan are becoming close, Pakistani naval ship is visiting Bangladesh. The area of Bay of Bengal is equally dangerous now. Plus, if you look at India, the choking of chicken neck, absolutely. China's claims regarding the line of actual control. But what about urban terrorism? We all have seen the rise in white collar terror. After the white collar terror, the white collar terror. Yes, Gujarat, Rahul. After the Red Fort bombing, we have seen the rise of white collar terrorism, which means urban terrorism. There is the resurgence of domestic terrorism in a new form, a terror module that was operating from Jammu Kashmir to Faridabad to Delhi, a terror module that was recently discovered by the Indian government, Indian security forces. That means unlike the earlier situation where terrorists used to be trained in warfare by various terror outfits, now the form of terror has changed. These terrorists are the new group. Yes, the doctors, the scientists, the highly educated people who are into white collar terrorism. Yes, they are educated professionals and they are mostly linked to top universities across the globe. And still they are falling victims to radicalization. Even today, the same narrative, the 1992 December Babri Masjid demolition, continues to create a radical hatred among people. Yes, that's the whole problem now. And with that, today, recently the security forces have discussed what have they found? They have found 3,000 kgs of explosive. They have seen funding that's happening through extended platforms and charity-based platforms. International links are situated in Pakistan, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. And this challenge also is very different to the earlier belief that locals are joining the terror outfits. No, it's not just happening at the local level. The recruitment is happening at the global level. Absolutely aspirant. Like ammonium nitrate, 3,000 kgs. The new technologies of attacking, the dead drop email technology, using Switzerland-based app that is prohibited in India to conduct coordination, doing repeated reconnaissance and Reiki at the site of the bombing attack, using unfamiliar vehicles. That is very dangerous. So you see, it is in this backlash that now India needs something, and that is called strategic vigilance. Strategic vigilance both for internal security, very good Rahul, as well as external security. If you look at the hostile borders, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or Afghanistan episode, or the dangers in Nepal, the instability of Nepal, Myanmar, we need much better border reconnaissance. Yes, much better border security, but at the same time, we also need to promote regional stability in South Asia. Let's understand there are emerging internal security threats. So we need to cut down on that radicalization through education, awareness, trying to create cultural integration in India. Then, second thing, what we can do is to promote strong intelligence among Indian security forces for counter-terror frameworks. Recently, we have been experimenting with new techniques like interoperability, theater level warfare, that needs to be further funded and propagated. Plus, vigilance against religious terrorism and ideological polarization that happens in school, colleges, and that completely brainwashes the young mind. So, to skill the young population, to bring them out of poverty so that they may not turn to extremism, and at the end of the day, awareness and education could be valid solutions here. So, India is in a very tight spot. The success will be being focused on strategic autonomy, at the same time deal every neighbor exactly as the situation demands. Deal with Pakistan as the needs be, Bangladesh accordingly. Same foreign policy is not going to work for different problems. It has to be a customized form of strategic autonomy that shall solve our purpose in today's difficult situation. That's all the article says. Yes, Rishi? It's very important. That's why India talks about the neighborhood first policy. Yesterday, I made a video on exercise between India and Maldives. Exercise equivalent. Which exercise? Equivalent. Yes, I also told in that video, India and Maldives are conducting exercise equivalent. They conduct another exercise with each other. What was that exercise? And then another trilateral exercise with Sri Lanka, also called exercise Dosti. Yes? Colombo Security Conclave. Think about all that. Yes, Prajesh. Very good morning. Diptesh, very good morning. It's completely all right. You're most welcome. Good morning, Shekhar. Good morning, Gunjun. Very good morning. Yes, that's exactly what we are talking about. Yes, that's a very good question, Rahul. It's a very, very important question you're raising. Yes, that's a fake propaganda. Eric, very good. Good morning. Yes, that could be a majorly fake propaganda. Absolutely, I agree. There is always this risk of refugee influx, but now, as the government is focused on NRC or the government is focusing on doing a compilation of citizenship, all these become important questions there. So, answers are coming from Reshma, Diptesh, Aspirant, Sitaram. Let me quickly read the question. With reference to recent geopolitical and internal security development concerns in India, which of the following statements are correct? One, India is facing simultaneous, that is, constant and all sided strategic pressure from both its western and eastern borders. Two, recent amendments in Pakistan have consolidated military control, including authority over nuclear assets. And three, the resurgence of urban terrorism in India is largely driven by external actors with no evidence of local involvement. And four, India's neighborhood is marked by growing instability, with several South Asian countries experiencing political uncertainty. Which of these statements are valid? Absolutely correct answer given by almost everyone. So it started with Reshma, Diptesh, Aspirant, Sitaram, Sanghamitra, Terukula, Rishi, Priya, Ramu, Ravi, Anup, Rahul, and Kojumba has answered. And absolutely, it is the valid answer. You've given the right answer. Third statement is incorrect because we know it is not just about external factors, it is also about internal involvement. The educated professionals who are falling victims to radicalization, like the recent case of Al Falah University, where 3 doctors were involved in the Red Fort attack. So, very well answered there. Well done. Good morning. Good morning, Ashiva. Okay, so quickly the next article, let's jump on. Next article, editorial page number 8. And this article is celebrating a very important event today. Very good morning, Kavya. What is the article celebrating today? On 5th of December 2025, we are celebrating the World Soil Day. What are we celebrating? The World Soil Day. What is soil? Soil, the top layer, composed of composite forms of rock, humus, alluvium, dust particles, sandy texture, the base of vegetation, the base of agriculture, the base of giving humans the nutrition that they receive. That is soil. And therefore, today, on 5th December, we celebrate the World Soil Day. Yes? What is the theme of this year, World Soil Day? The theme is healthy soils for healthy cities. Yes? So, this theme is healthy soil for healthy cities. Okay. So, what does this article say then? Quickly, a topic mapping. The article is coming from GS paper 3. Why? because the topic is environmental ecology and the topic is biodiversity conservation. So what to do with the global or the World Soil Day today? What is special about it? Let's quickly analyze. Article is saying World Soil Day is observed every year on 5th December. So it's an annual celebration, it's an annual observance. What? The World Soil Day. Who celebrates that? It is celebrated and declared by Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations. Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations. Now, do not forget, multiple times we have discussed this year is a very special year for United Nations because we are celebrating UN at the rate 80. 80 years since United Nations was created back in October 1945. Okay, so we celebrate 80 years for that. And Soil Day is declared by Food and Agriculture Organization. This year in 2025, the theme is Healthy Soil for Healthy City. That means the focus of soil conservation is not only in agriculture and village area, but it is as much about the role of healthy soil in building a healthy urbanization in India. The question is, why does urban soil matter? What is the importance of urban soil? Very good, Rahul. What's the importance? 56% of world population is living in cities right now. As per the estimate of United Nations, do remember, 56% of the whole world is living in the city right now. Urban challenges are also increasing, therefore. Food insecurity, flooding, pollution, extreme heat are increasing. Healthy urban soil can play a very important role in addressing all these issues. If the soil in the city is healthy, if the urban soil is healthy, it can try to control urban pollution. It can improve the quality of your groundwater and aquifer. It can also create a much better nutrition profile of the food crops that you grow in the soil. At the same time, it will also protect against the problem of urban flooding. Very good. Sankhamitra, yes, it's celebrated every year on this day, 5th of December by United Nations, by the Food and Agriculture Organization. So, having said that, what is the article saying? Article now says healthy urban soil can solve all these problems for you. Problems like urban flooding, as Rahul says, problems of pollution, problems of lack of nutrition in the food itself. Because do remember, no matter how healthy your food crop is, the real nourishment in the food comes from the soil in which it grows. If the soil profile is absolutely bad, if the soil is lacking in nutrition, basic minerals, then the food that it produces will also not be healthy at all. So therefore, soil is important for nutrition, soil is important for pollution control, water table regulation, at the same time to control pollution and urban flooding. So what is the article trying to say now? Article says urban soil has clear-cut functions. One, it regulates the climate. It reduces the impact of urban heat island effect. We all know because of rising vehicular pollution and rising factory smoke, too much population and traffic jams, rising temperature. Cities are becoming like urban heat traps. There is so much heat in the city that also causes a trapping of pollution. I have told you before, the thin layer of warm air that settles above, reducing the vertical movement of air, and that means all the pollutants, PM10, PM2.5 will keep on lingering in the ecosystem. So soil can also reduce urban heat island effect. Second, soil is able to absorb heat. Now let's not forget that soil has the capacity, a healthy soil can absorb heat. If it absorbs heat, soil does another duty for you. Soil stores carbon. What does it do? Soil stores carbon when it is combined with vegetation. So if there is a piece of land, you grow some plants or crops or vegetation on that. Then the soil is also able to hold carbon deposits. If soil is holding carbon, it is doing that excellent duty of acting like a carbon sink. It will allow the atmospheric carbon to get captured in the soil. That means overall reduction in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So do remember, soil absorbs heat. I repeat, soil stores carbon when combined with vegetation. Next, soil acts like a natural sponge. Do you know what is a sponge? Sponge is an absorption thing. Soil acts like a natural sponge. It absorbs extra rainfall, reduces the chance of spillover and urban flooding. It also percolates the water down because of filtration process. And what does that mean? It means soil will also lead to improvement in the water table underground. The clean water after being filtered by the soil. Soil will act as a filter. Through that filter, the clean water will get deposited where? In the underground water table. So that's wonderful. It recharges the aquifers. Now with this, soil does another thing. Soil also enables urban agriculture. If there is a healthy soil in the city, you can do things like rooftop farming, outskirts peri-urban area farming. You can create healthy gardens which can act like lungs to the heated city. Then soil also sustains microorganisms, various kinds of worms, pollinators and other organisms that are very crucial to maintain entire ecosystem and the entire food chain. So if you want to maintain the natural food chain and natural ecological balance, biodiversity of worms, insects, pollinators, microorganisms are crucial. And where do they grow? They grow in the soil. So urban soil is important. Plus, it gives you mental peace. We read an article 2 days back which said in urban India, another challenge is in metro cities, the cases of stress and heart attack are increasing. If you have a landscape that is full of healthy soil, that promotes healthy gardening, vegetable garden, horticulture, green spaces, it gives you, as per this article, vitamin N. What does this article say? I like this word very much, so I'm writing it here in hope that some of my students can also quote this when they write their essays. Essays in which you talk about the topic importance of environment and ecosystem. You can use this expression from this article that soil gives you vitamin N. And what is vitamin N? Nature exposure. Nature exposure reduces your stress, overall mental balance, and stress levels are also healed eventually. But today in 2025, very good aspirant, bioremediation, we did speak about that also. Releasing microorganisms in the atmosphere to eat various kinds of pollutants. Very good. Thank you, aspirant, for that. Cloud seeding, very good. Absolutely, Terukula. That's very good. Now, talking about what are the threats to urban soil today? Is urban soil under threat? Yes, big time it is under threat. Why is it under threat? Because 1/3 of the world's soil is already degraded. That's a dangerous data. You can write this in essay. You can write this in GS paper 3 also. What did I just say? According to United Nations, 1/3 of the global soil, entire soil in the world is already degraded. It is becoming of poor quality. And the urban soil is the worst when it comes to soil denudation, alkalination, salinity, and degradation. It is the worst. What are the key causes behind soil degradation? One, industrial contamination. Wastewater and residues that comes from pharmaceutical, mining, various kinds of manufacturing industries contaminate the soil. Second, compaction from construction. Too much construction takes place. Too much construction takes place. Where? It takes place in urban areas, and because of that, the natural availability of free soil declines down. Beautiful, Ram. Absolutely, Anu. Yes, we are talking about concrete jungling, mixing of concrete, the expansion of construction. Absolutely. Industrial pollution, soil erosion. Very, very good. That's what we are talking about. Yes. No, 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 no. Sanghamitra, vitamin N only means it's a beautiful metaphoric expression that says nature. You get exposure to nature. It doesn't mean any kind of chemical. Thank you, Shekhar. That's so kind of you, dear. Okay? Yes, very good. Like the Ganga. Absolutely. That also you can talk about. Vertical expansion. Very good, Anu. Brilliant. So what is happening? Construction is increasing. Concretization is increasing. And as Ramu and other aspirants are saying, naturally that leads to industrial pollution becoming accumulated in the soil. That's very normal. Soil erosion plus faulty agriculture practice. The less your soil is fertile, naturally the more fertilizer and pesticide you will use. What will that lead to? I have taught you before. Capillary action. Capillary action means all the salts that are deposited in the bottom layer, they rise up to the top layer, making the soil worse, making it absolutely infertile. That's the problem. Then loss of organic matter. Because of concretization, mixing of chemicals that are dangerous in the soil, there is a loss of organic matter in the soil, like your humus and many other materials like alluvium particles. All of that gets destroyed. Then soil sealing is a dangerous phenomena. The article has given a lot of importance to a word called soil sealing. Let me quickly explain soil sealing to you. What is soil sealing? Concrete jungle means an area full of buildings. Just like a jungle is full of trees, concrete jungle is full of buildings and construction. Okay? What is soil sealing as per this article? A major cause of soil pollution. Soil sealing means when you try to cover the soil. When you try to cover the soil by concrete or asphalt. Concrete or asphalt. The process of covering natural soil surface with impermeable, non-porous particles like road pavements, buildings, parking lots, urban infrastructure. The soil is covered with concrete material or asphalt to promote creating of building, other infrastructure, to make place for people to walk and various kinds of other parking spaces. What happens with that? When the soil is covered with a concrete material, the ability of soil to interact with the environment goes down. Naturally, sunlight will not come. If sunlight will not come, micro or microbial activity of the soil will also start getting depleted. Then what happens when water falls on this area? The soil is like a sponge, but if it is covered with concrete, and now if rainwater falls on that, how will the soil be able to absorb that water? Soil cannot absorb. That is why we are seeing in areas like Chennai, Bengaluru, Mumbai, Gurugram, urban flooding is happening. When the natural soil cover is not there, what will absorb the extra water? Nothing. And then the water keeps on getting accumulated, rising the problem of urban flooding. But unfortunately, the same water also goes to agriculture areas. And then in agricultural soil also, it takes the same amount of concrete, urban pollution, particulate matter, and various other contaminants. After sealing, the soil loses its capacity to filtrate the water to the underground water. That means underground water level also gets depleted. At the end of the day, it leads to waterlogging, urban flooding. Also, it leads to a loss of groundwater cover. That is the problem here, right? Now, what should be the solution? We know the problem, we know the causes. Is there a solution? Yes. Solution is what? Solution is creating a roadmap of action for healthy soil for healthy city, which is also the theme of 2025 World Soil Day. What should we do? 1. Soil testing, composting, organic amendments, limiting soil sealing. The parliament should make it a law that no private company or no organization can actually create soil sealing, at least in areas that are highly prone to flooding and areas that are close to agriculture landscape. It should be prohibited. Amendments should be created to only allow organic fertilizer, compost, manure and fertilizer, reduce the amount of chemical contamination of soil. Repeated monitoring by soil testing. Take the sample of soil. That day, as the aspirant is mentioning bioremediation, I spoke about two kinds of bioremediation, in situ, ex situ. Now, a very good solution can be take the soil sample and go and test it in a laboratory. See how much contaminated is it. If it is contaminated, keep periodically reviewing that and take strict action to reduce that contamination by prohibiting the use of chemicals in that soil. Then replace concretes in the city. If you have to make a parking space, no problem. Create it. If you want to make a market area, create it. But teach people to live with nature. Do not make it concrete. You can make it on a park also. You can have a market, a farmer's market, a small market area, vegetable market, where all the markets are being put across parks that are green, not necessarily across concrete areas. Then we can also create rain gardens. We can create rooftop gardens. We can create pavement gardens around the streets to reduce flooding as well and over urban heating as well. And then support urban agriculture. Yes, we should create community gardens, backyard farming, balcony cultivation. Now, some people who are very committed are also doing balcony gardening, Vegetable and food gardening. That's a brilliant idea. If you have space, utilize that. If you cannot use soil, use hydroponic, but at least create some green coverage. Then increase soil literacy. Now people know a lot about pollution. After the AQI became so dangerous, a lot of people in India know about taking precaution against air pollution. But how many people are aware about soil and soil pollution? How many people know about soil sealing? Hardly anybody. So we need to promote what? Soil literacy in schools, agriculture, universities, institutions, in companies and corporate offices also. Soil literacy is very, very important. Soil literacy through workshops and school activities through Gram Panchayat participation encourage people to save their waste rather than using all the food leftover, vegetable leftover as waste. Treat this to produce organic compost. If you can't make it, donate it to somebody who can do it. So today the World Soil Day emphasizes that foundation of sustainable city is also not just steel and concrete and building, but every much it is about, what is it about? What? It is about healthy soil. Maintaining healthy soil is important for urban resilience, environmental balance, and human well-being and food security. Yes? So active participation is very important here. Quickly, let's have a look at the question. Very good, Priya. That's a valid statement, Priyanshu. Yes, Bulbul. It is ready, but I just have to share it with you because the material has not been uploaded on that. So the backend team is doing that. As soon as they do it, I will let you know. Yes? Thank you, Ramu. That's very, very nice. Salinization, waterlogging, monocropping, chemical overuse, beautifully summarized. Correct, Kojumba. Absolutely. Okay, quickly the question. With reference to the theme of the World Soil Day, healthy soil for healthy city. Look at these statements here. 1. Urban soils help reduce urban heat island effect by absorbing heat and storing carbon. 2. Soil sealing through concrete and asphalt increases natural capacity of the soil to absorb rainfall. 3. Healthy urban soils promote biodiversity and enable sustainable urban agriculture. And 4. Urban soil degradation, mainly caused by natural processes not linked to construction or industrial activity. I thought it's an easy question, isn't it? So let's see what are the answers there. Some confusion in the answers, but by and large, everyone says that the answer is A. Let's quickly break it down. Thank you for answering there. Priyanshu, Terukula, Diptesh, Sanghamitra, Anu, Bulbul, Levino. Sorry, Rahul, Reshma have answered. Let's see what's the answer then. Is the first statement correct? Urban soil help? Yes, they do. 1 is correct. If 1 is correct, please eliminate B immediately. So do quick elimination. Yes, very good, Aktopam and Priya, aspirant Bulbul. Always do. Good, Ravi. Always do elimination to begin with. Always. Eliminate B because first is right. Second, soil sealing. I told you soil sealing is covering the soil with concrete and asphalt. Will it help in increasing the capacity to absorb? No, it's the opposite. If you do not let the soil interact with nature, how will you ensure that soil absorbs anything? If it's covered with a concrete, it will not absorb anything. So second is not correct. Second is not correct, then C is also not correct. Very good, Kojumba, Iba, Rishi. Absolutely. Very good, Sitaram. The right answer. 3. Healthy urban soil promotes biodiversity. Correct. Third is correct. Fourth, urban soil degradation is caused by natural process, not linked to construction. Absolutely opposite of the truth, making A as the right answer. In fact, the article has said majority of soil degradation in the cities is happening because of industrial and chemical waste. Correct? Very good. Next article, also editorial, but a very small one. We are talking about cybersecurity. So we are looking at a topic mapping of GS paper 3, cybersecurity, IT services, and the problem of cyber crimes in India. Digital technology. Why is it in the news? Because recently the Supreme Court of India has told the CBI that please conduct a pan-India investigation and take any strict action as you want to take in order to solve the problem of rising cyber crimes. This article is therefore saying that cyber frauds are a growing menace to people's security in India. The biggest one being digital arrest scam, a type of cyber crime where fraudsters are behaving as if they are police or investigation agency, and then they try to create fake documents. They try to create a fear among innocent people and force them to stay in a virtual arrest mode in their own house for multiple number of hours. Or sometimes they ask them to pay lakhs of rupees to get a bail. They are falsely accused of crimes which they have not done. And that's a very, very dangerous thing. Sometimes there are financial crimes also that are asking people to invest money, promising them big returns, and people have lost so much money in that. All India, if you see, financial crimes have caused a loss of 3,000 crore rupees. And which people are most vulnerable to that? Elderly population, senior citizens above 60 years of age, young children below 18 years of age, and rural people who are semi-literate in digital safety. They are highly prone to these crimes. Absolutely, Rahul and aspirant. Absolutely. Very good, Sankamitra. That's the spirit here. So now what has happened recently? Now the Supreme Court of India has ordered CBI. What? Conduct a pan-India. Conduct an all-India investigation and identify which are the top hubs, which are the main centers of cyber crime call centers. From where is the crime happening exactly? Identify the trend of that crime and take any direction that you want in order to solve the problem. Even if the state government is not giving you the permission, go ahead and just do it. Enough is enough. That's the Supreme Court's frustration over cyber crimes. So what has Supreme Court? Yes, very good, Rahul. The CBI has been given a free hand, complete authority by the Supreme Court of India. Therefore, it's also GS paper 2, polity and governance. So what has the Supreme Court told CBI to do? What should the CBI do? What? One, the Supreme Court has asked CBI to examine not only those people who are doing the scam, but also those banking officials who are enabling the creation of mule accounts. What are mule accounts? Not only will criminals be punished, but those banking officials who are responsible for creating mule accounts will also be punished. What are mule accounts? Mule account is a bank account that is used to receive, transfer, or hide illegal money on the behalf of some other cyber criminal or a fraud network. The account holder sometimes is aware of this. Sometimes the account holder is not even aware about it. That there is an account called money mule account that is being nicely conducted. That's called the mule account. It's a fake account that is used to hide and deal with all kinds of fake fraud, illegal money. And it's very dangerous. It is sometimes helping criminals in order to conduct cyber crimes, fraud, and money laundering also. So it's a matter of internal security too in GS paper too. Okay, so that's something we need to look at. Very good. Absolutely, Rahul. The best part about mule account is that it's very difficult to trace the source and origin of that account. And some banking officers are definitely involved here. So Supreme Court has told CBI, take an action against them and punish them immediately. Don't take any risk. Second, the Supreme Court has told the CBI to not only highlight the amount of losses that have happened, but also to publish the accurate data state by state. Which state has registered the highest amount of cyber fraud crime and what is the financial loss being happening state to state in India? Okay, Sangamitra, mule account. Mule account means a fake account. An account that is created only for the purpose of receiving or hiding or transferring illegal money on the behalf of some cyber criminal who is into money laundering or who is trying to do some smuggling. Some people are involved in this activity for sure, but these are always fake accounts meant in order to do illegal activities. That's a mule account. Okay. Second thing, discuss the amount of financial loss state by state. And what is the third thing that Supreme Court has told this time to RBI? Supreme Court not only to CBI, but it has also told to the Reserve Bank of India. What has it said to the Reserve Bank of India? To use artificial intelligence. What does Supreme Court say? Supreme Court says that please, to the Reserve Bank of India, it says use artificial intelligence and machine learning, ML, to trace what? Layered money system. Have you heard about that? Layered money transfers. Yes? Have you heard about that? Anybody? What are the three things I'm talking about? The Supreme Court has told CBI, one, to identify mule accounts, to punish people involved in it. Two, to conduct a pan-India investigation. Yes, what's the third thing being told? The third thing Supreme Court has told to Reserve Bank of India to use artificial intelligence and machine learning. For what? For identifying what exactly? Layered money transfers. Layered money transfer. What do you mean by layered money transfer? Layered money transfer or layering means that you create a special kind of money laundering where criminals are able to move illegal money or stolen money through multiple transactions, accounts, or multiple kind of financial systems to hide its origin. Very good, Eba. When you are trying to hide the origin where the money came from, you use multiple accounts for that, multiple digital systems for that, and multiple transactions are done to make it look like legitimate, to make it look very authentic from outside. Now, what really is done with illegal money here? One, it is sent through multiple bank accounts of different account holders. Second, a big transaction is not done at once. It's not done at once, it's broken into smaller transactions, and this process is known as smurfing. What does it called? Smurfing. So please remember it is known as smurfing. I will ask you. Smurfing. I repeat, smurfing. What is smurfing? You are not doing a big transaction at once. You are breaking it down into small, multiple transactions so that nobody has a doubt on your black money. Yes, Kojumba, money laundering. That's called smurfing. So RBI has been told to identify cases of smurfing. Plus, under money layering, money laundering, when you are trying to steal money, smuggle authentic money, and then utilize it for illegal purpose by hiding it. You are smuggling money and not even disclosing the original transactions that you have done. You are hiding the origin transactions and where the money is being put, that also we don't. A very important question of internal security, it's a financial fraud. Generally, in India, it is Enforcement Directorate, ED, that is responsible for looking into various cases of GST, fraud, and money laundering episodes. Okay. Now, coming back to money layering transfers. One, it is done through multiple accounts called smurfing. Second, many different kinds of transactions, bank accounts are used to hide the origin of the money, and also understand the money is utilized into different kinds of formats such as cryptocurrency, gold investment, gift card, digital wallets. It's converted into different forms so that it doesn't attract attention. Smurfing, when you take a big transaction, rather than doing it at once, you break it down into multiple small transactions. That's called smurfing. To hide the originality of the transaction, to show that the amount is very small, it's not very big. It's a kind of cyber fraud. And then what happens? Money is converted into different platforms: cryptocurrency, gift card, digital wallet, e-transfers, gold investment, and then sent across borders. That's outside India. It is sent outside India to country where financial regulations are weak. It is sent to countries where it is easy to do crime. Generally, then the money is also used to buy land, gold, luxury items, cars, all that is purchased with that money, and then it's resold. Then who can catch you? Who can catch you then? You go to another country where the financial rules are very weak. There you buy a big land or you buy a gold. And then you sell that gold and money and get profit from that. You get all the profit, but who will catch your transaction? Very difficult to trace that. And that's called the idea of money layering transfers. Why? Why is it called layering? Because with every transaction, there is a new layer of suspense and complexity, making it more difficult to track it by the government. Absolutely, as Ramu says, usually the Swiss bank accounts were very common when it came to political cases of money laundering in India. Not exactly, aspirant. Money layer transferring, I have told you, converting money into different channels and layers. Smurfing means when you take a large transaction, suppose I have to send somebody 50 lakh rupees, rather than sending it through a bank direct channel, or rather than sending it through one short transaction, I break it down into multiple transactions. I give you 10,000, I give somebody else 20,000, I give somebody else 2 lakhs, like that, from different accounts. Now that's the process of smurfing. A big transaction broken into smaller transactions that are usually very common and therefore invisible, because a larger transaction does attract attention but a small transaction may not. So that's the idea behind smurfing. There is a degree of difference between the two. And now coming back to what can India do then? Does India do something to control that? Yes. Today the Supreme Court has told CBI, make the information technology rules 2021 more strict. Ask various intermediaries like various financial platforms and banks to cooperate with CBI. Extend the scope of investigation to also capture the cases of investment scam, digital arrest, and fake job scams. The Hawala transactions, Ramu, very good. Then another thing is, there is a data from National Crime Records Bureau, NCRB, that compiles the criminal data in India. It shows a sharp rise in cyber crimes in India. So therefore, we need to take a systematic action today. And the Indian government is saying, usually it is countries like Myanmar and other countries of South Asia where proper scam centers are operating. And they are also hiring young people by paying them good money. And sometimes people are trafficked in order to work in these various kind of fraud scams by putting force on them. They are abducted to do that. They are blackmailed into that. And these are very common in Myanmar because of the ruling junta. Yes, because of the ruling junta. Then what happens? We have to do something like America. The United States has established a scam center strike force. It's a model response force that tracks the amount of cybercrime. India needs to do the same. So today the Indian government is saying, let's highlight the issue in ASEAN. Recently, India had an ASEAN summit, remember, in Kuala Lumpur. 2026 is now going to be the International Year of India-ASEAN Maritime Cooperation. So one agenda is also cybersecurity. Recently, India met at New Delhi for the 7th session of National Security Advisor level Colombo Security Conclave. There also one agenda was cybersecurity. Today, as India is conducting exercise Equivalent with Maldives, one agenda, cybersecurity. Shanghai Cooperation Organization, 2, the G20 Summit, agenda, cybersecurity. So India is saying, let's raise it in the international forums. Plus, improve digital literacy. It's not enough to make people digitized. It's very important to make them digitally aware as well, so that they are not falling victims to crimes. Plus, public awareness campaigns actively by state government, local bodies, and RBI itself. Also, improve the cyber capacities of state police forces, because today we need more technology advancement to control these crimes. These are very smart criminals. They are very smart. The way they are doing these cyber crimes is unbelievable. So therefore, we need to keep updated to track them. Does India have any existing law for cyber crime? It is not in the article, but this is just something I wanted to share with you quickly. Does India have a protocol to handle cyber crimes? Yes. One, under the Information Technology Rule 2000. There is a section called Section 43. I repeat, Section 43. That means the fine or the penalty for unauthorized access or data theft or virus introduction could be up to rupees 1 crore. And under the same IT Act 2000, there is Section 66C that says there is the punishment for identity theft, impersonating, using somebody else's digital key or identity. Section 66D, when you are cheating somebody by personation, online scam, there is a punishment for that. Very good, absolutely Kojumba. Then there is the DPDP Act 2023. It will now be implemented finally, which says nobody's data, no consumer's data can be used without consent, approval, and in a legal way. User have a right to their data. If they have given their data, they can also take that back. It's their right. Then comes to identity theft. So many Bollywood celebrities being involved in people faking their identity for doing different propaganda. That's there. And then ultimately, there is the 2008 amendment to the Information Technology Act 2000, which says the scope is now more advanced, now more tough punishments for various forms of cyber offenses that are done in India. Ultimately, in 2021, we also have Information Technology, Intermediary Guideline and Digital Media Ethics Code. 2021 Intermediary Guideline, Digital Media Ethics Code, a part of Amendment to Information Technology Act. What is the purpose? To improve accountability of social media platforms. Social media platforms are responsible for hosting a content that can create fraud, panic, or cheating to people. Yes, with that, if you remember, we had also spoken about the safety harbor clause long back. Remember that also. And ultimately, if you look at Indian Penal Code, IPC, sections 420, it deals with cheating. 468, forgery, cheating somebody and taking money. We have various provisions for criminal intimidation under all these laws. Very good, aspirant. Quickly, the question. Consider the following statements regarding digital arrest scams that are in the news right now. One, they involve fraudsters impersonating, acting like government agency or police to intimidate the victims through video calls. What is intimidating? To make somebody scared, to make somebody afraid. Yes? Two, Supreme Court has directed CBI to investigate these scams at national level, including the role of banks and online intermediaries. Three, these scams are purely domestic in nature. They do not involve any international network or trafficking operation. So there is no kind of international involvement, is it? And four, the court has instructed the RBI to use artificial intelligence and machine learning tools to track the flow of money involved in such crimes. So, which of these statements are correct? One, two, only three, or all four are correct? Most of the students are saying initiated from Diptesh, Sitaram, Priyanshu, Rishi, Sanghamitra, Anup, Priya, Reshma. But slight difference in the answers. Let's break it down. Is the fourth correct? Absolutely, the statement number 4 is correct. Is the third statement correct? The scams are purely domestic in nature. They have no international involvement. But recently we spoke in the article that we know there are cyber crime cells that operate especially from Myanmar. Myanmar, that is ruled by Janta, is the hotbed of cyber crime. So third is not correct. That means D cannot be valid. All four are not correct. Now, second one. Supreme Court has told CBI to investigate these scams at national level, including the role of banks and online intermediaries. Is it? And what about A? Digital arrest scams. They involve fraudsters impersonating as government or police official to intimidate victim through video calls. Absolutely correct. So that means at least one, two. Two statements are valid, but definitely one is wrong here. So we can't say that C should be correct. C is also not correct. Now between A and B, what can be the valid answer? Absolutely B is the valid answer. The first one is also correct. And the fourth one is also correct. The second and the third statements then are not correct. Well explained, absolutely, Diptesh and Reshma. Well done. So very good, Sumit, Reshma, Ramu, Priya, Anup. Well done. That's a correct answer. Very, very good. In that case, B shall be the right answer. And now quickly to the one of the last articles. Prime Minister Shri Modi has welcomed his old-time friend. And who's the friend? Who is your guest right now in India? It is President Putin from Russia who is your guest. He is on a state visit to India. Remember, this is the first time he is coming to India after the war with Ukraine had formally started in 2022. He's the first time that he's coming to India now. Okay, and as he is meeting with Indian delegates, important news is that now we will have the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit. It will be held specifically to discuss the scope towards defense cooperation, security, as well as the Ukraine issue. As America watches with a lot of curiosity, because America is also a country which is now trying to make friends with President Putin by supporting Russian-occupied areas and by completely dismantling all the claims of Ukraine's to NATO or to the various territories we spoke about that day, from Crimea to Donbass, all the territories going back to Russia. Yes? So now what's the situation? India and Russia are old-time friends. I have told you multiple times, during the 1971 war, India felt itself very isolated. There was no support coming from US. And at that point of time, it was Russia, USSR, which had signed a 20 years treaty of peace and friendship with India. And since then, the friendship has been very robust, very strong. Recently, India has acquired S-400 Sudarshan Chakra from here. And now very soon, India might also acquire another advanced version of the same S-500. So although the total oil import from Russia has slightly fallen down as compared to before, because Russian oil was cheap after the Ukraine war, all the countries like America and EU had imposed sanctions on Russia. That meant the oil became cheap. For India, it was a good situation. India was importing a lot of cheap oil from Russia, from the Ural mountain at that time. But now, recently, the total oil imports are falling down. But at the same time, the defense agreements are on the rise. So that's nothing to worry. And with our eyes on S-500 and many more agendas on the table, we are now going to start with the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit. Do not forget that, okay? That's important. Quickly, the next article. Yes, the Relo's agreement. Very good, Rahul. Absolutely. Rahul calls him Lord Putin. All right, so he's he. That's wonderful, Sanghamitra. Very good, Kojumba Subit. Okay, very good. Now, next one. Also remember, the New START treaty that's going to expire next year between US and Russia. That may also be a hidden agenda here. Okay, coming back to next article. Now, this is an interesting article because a very new initiative has been started called as Dhruv. What is it called as? Dhruva or Dhruv. I repeat, Dhruva or Dhruv. What is the initiative about? The initiative is coming from the Department of Post in India. And what does Dhruv mean? Dhruv means Digital Hub for Reference and Unique Virtual Address. So the Department of Post in India has proposed a bill, and under the bill, we will make an amendment, a change to the existing Post Office Act 2023, and the amendment will include introducing a platform called Dhruva or Dhruv. What is Dhruv? What does it mean? It is a standardized, interoperable, user-centric digital address system. So far, so many letters get lost. In the world of e-communication and emails, yes, the Department of Post does an important work by transferring and sending and dealing with so many important official documents every day. But there is always a risk of these documents getting lost. Why? Because the addresses are complicated. Sometimes addresses keep changing. It is difficult for a customer's address to be updated all the time. So today the Department of Post, to make the life easy for people, also for the government officials working in the postal department, have introduced an amendment to the existing Post Office Act 2023. And this amendment means, what does it mean? Introduce a digital hub called Dhruva. Dhruva is a very electronic digital kind of address now. It will completely change existing textual address. It will now become in a very email and a UPI format. It's much easy to track. It will now work rather than the physical address because it's easy to track. It is quickly, very easy to share among people. It's not lengthy like the traditional address, road number, apartment number, street number. No, it is just like a single transaction ID. Very simple to operate. And now it will be integrated with the private sector also. Private sector companies and platforms through which we buy so many materials and products. E-commerce websites, Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra. All of that can also use the same thing. And all these companies, including GIG platforms, have a choice. Now, I'm saying they have a choice. I am not saying it is compulsory. No, it's not compulsory. They have a choice. They can participate in this initiative Dhruv. They can also take, rather than lengthy address, this digital Dhruv address from people. It will be like a digital label rather than repeatedly filling the address form. And tomorrow, if you change your address, it is one click away to modify this digital tagline. It doesn't take as much line as actually updating your real address. It will deal with perfect, accurate geographical coordinates and will reveal the full address instantly, but with user approval. The e-commerce and social media platforms will have to take approval from the people in order to initiate this activity because it will be based on consent by the user. User can authorize the company. It is user who will decide that a particular company can see my complete address for how much duration. Suppose I place an order with Amazon. But I don't want Amazon to keep my address permanently. I just want Amazon to have that address till I get my item delivered to my house. Immediately after the delivery is done, I may cancel. I may hide the details and Amazon will not get my address. After it is expired, if I again want to order something, I can do a reauthorization. So I will be the controller of my data, not the e-commerce platform. It will be managed by Address Information Agents, AIA. Okay, and various labels will be given in order to keep updating these addresses accurately, which will be perfect with regards to mapping and geographical coordinate. It is quite similar to the National Payment Corporation System of India, because Postal Department is also now creating a non-for-profit company. What is a non-for-profit company? That is registered with the Companies Act, but under Section 8, where the revenue of the company is not being used for salaries of the people. It is used to invest in the business further, for the welfare of all the stakeholders. So now a new company will be created that will manage all digital address infrastructure in India. With this, we are creating a new system called the DigiPin system. I repeat, DigiPin system. What is DigiPin system? That is the foundation of the Dhruva application, the Dhruva hub. It is a 10-number alphanumerical code that will exactly decide your longitude and your longitude in order to give precise location for even those areas which are remote and rural. Okay, and now we are promoting private participation also. That's the best thing here. Significance, it will make address verification easy. It will make updating address very easy. It will minimize human errors of writing. It's helpful for those who are semi-literate. It's very, very accurate, saves time of transportation. Plus, it is also based on user approval and user consent. So now, no more taking your address without your permission, whether it's an e-commerce company or any social media platform. So that's it from this news. A quick question on Dhruva. What is Sanghamitra saying? It will relate to GIG workers as well, because sometimes they have to give their address. Suppose I'm a GIG worker and I'm working for some company or some e-commerce website. Now I may have to give my address and details as I register for that company, but I'm a GIG worker. I may work temporarily for this company. Tomorrow I may quit. Tomorrow they might remove me as well. Anything is possible. When I am not a part of this company anymore, I would want to cancel my Dhruva ID. I will cancel my DigiPin with them. Why will I give my data for free when I'm not working for them? So it's about user consent. Very good, Ramu. Thank you so much. A non-profit company almost works like an NPO, a non-profit organization where the profit is only used, it is not distributed. Very good. Quickly, the question. Consider the following statements regarding Dhruv. Digital address system proposed by Department of Post. 1. Dhruv allows users to replace textual address with email or UPI style label to share location information with private companies on a consensual basis. 2. DigiPin system is the foundation of Dhruv that assigns a 10-digit alphanumeric code to each location, which is very precise, of about 14 square meters of land, approximately. 3. Joining the Dhruv system is mandatory for all the e-commerce and GIG platforms under the new amendment to the Post Office Act 23. Brilliant answer by everyone. Initiated from aspirant Reshma, Priyanshu, Diptesh, Priya, Anup, Ramu, Sitaram, Ravi, Rahul and Sanghamitra. Absolutely correct. First two statements are valid. B is the right answer. 3 is not correct. Very good, Ramu. Thanks for explaining, because it's not mandatory. Right now, it's voluntary. They may do it. They may not do it. It's okay. Quickly, the next one. President Putin, as he is visiting India, has made one thing very clear. That today, President Putin is happy. He's very happy about the fact that US President Trump is initiating a peace program between Ukraine and Russia after about 3 years of consistent war regarding the eastern boundaries of Ukraine. Today, President Trump has not only promised that Ukraine will not join NATO, it may join European Union as a full member, it will not join NATO. It will get some permanent security help, but it will have to give all the territories back to Russia. That makes President Putin very happy, but at the same time, what he is saying? He's saying we have had a detailed talks with American diplomats, and there are certain areas where we cannot agree to America. It looks like a very good plan. I'm happy. That's what he says. But he also says there are certain points in which I may have to rethink. I'm not 100% given my approval to this plan, because in this plan there is a prospect, there is a provision of giving security guarantees to Ukraine. If Ukraine agrees to withdraw from NATO and give all the areas captured to Russia, it will be given permanent security guarantee by America and European Union. President Trump has a doubt. He says, what do you mean by security guarantee? I am still not okay with security guarantee. What are these security guarantees? What's the promise that tomorrow again Ukraine will not start retaliating and asking back for these territories because it is getting security? So these are certain flashpoints, and President Trump and President Putin says we need time. It's not an easy thing. It's a time-taking thing, okay? Very good for answering Aktopam, Kojumba. That's okay, Sanghamitra. Now, quickly, one of the last articles. Supreme Court of India has said something very, very clearly. It was told by the Chief Justice of India, the 53rd Chief Justice, Justice Surya Kant, and Justice Joy Mala Bagchi. They have made it very clear that although it's the duty of the booth level officer as a part of government official to fulfill their responsibilities for conducting elections on ground, they cannot say no to this duty. But if the government of a state feels that certain booth level officers are tired, they are mentally, physically exhausted, they are suffering from too much pressure of work and they can't handle the excessive work burden, then in that exception, you can give them a case to case basis leave or some kind of emergency support. That's what it says. It says, although a booth level officer cannot and should not refuse the constitutional duty of conducting the SIR process in 12 states and UTs, but in case somebody is not well, somebody is experiencing a too much exhaustion, or somebody cannot handle the work pressure, then in that case, they can submit some application and we can allow them on a case to case basis some kind of relief for some excuse for a certain period of time from these duties. State governments can consider that. So that's all that the Supreme Court is saying. Plus, Supreme Court is also saying, in order to avoid the problem of exhaustion among these BLOs, it means we need to also make sure that we deploy more staff. The BLOs should need more man staff. They need more human resources in order to do their work successfully. That's it. And a small case study before I explain the white elephant point raised by Iba. Now, the last is a small case study that's coming from a place in Jharkhand. What has happened in Jharkhand? Unfortunately, there has been a gas leakage. Now, in one of the small industries that are situated in a mining area, in the larger area of Dhanbad in Jharkhand. We all know this is a mine-rich area. This is the heart and the hot belt of India's mining sector. So in Jharkhand's Dhanbad region, there has been a mining accident and unfortunately, carbon monoxide was released here. GS paper 3, workplace disaster. Yes, recently Government of India has declared the 4 labor code. In that labor code that were created in 2019, but they are being implemented finally now. One provision is also with regards to workplace safety and security against work-related danger. This highlights that point. We need to implement that strongly for the informal sector of the mining sector. Very, very good, Priyanshu. So what has happened? In Dhanbad, yes, absolutely, Priyanshu. It's one of the most polluted area, Priyanshu, correct? So in this area in Dhanbad, there has been leakage from a mine and the leak is that of carbon monoxide. So how is it dangerous? It is very dangerous because carbon monoxide is invisible practically. It's colorless. It doesn't have a smell also. It's dangerous because you can't detect its poisoning. Colorless, odorless, tasteless gas. That happens when there is an incomplete burning, an incomplete combustion of carbon containing items like wood, coal, petrol, diesel or natural gas. In the factory, something similar happened. And as the carbon monoxide gas leaked, people are now running for their lives. Yes, some rehabilitation is being overseen, but at the same time, so many people have already inhaled that gas. And what happens when you inhale carbon monoxide? What happens is that the carbon monoxide gets attached It binds itself to the hemoglobin in the blood, the iron carrying compound in the blood that is responsible for taking and transporting iron and oxygen to the blood. So the carbon monoxide combines itself to the hemoglobin in the blood, and what happens? A new chemical is created that's called carboxyhemoglobin. What is that called? I repeat, carboxyhemoglobin. The reaction between hemoglobin in the blood and carbon monoxide. What happens then? The blood supply and the oxygen supply to various tissues in the body starts getting depleted. And what happens if your tissues will not get oxygen? They will start getting decayed. You can't function. You can't breathe, right? It causes dizziness, vomiting, severe toxicity. And that's why it is a dangerous problem. Now, let's also understand that carbon monoxide is a dangerous pollutant that also is an indirect contributor to urban smog that is characterizing the Delhi NCR right now. And very good question. That's also the reason why in India there is a campaign to make people aware in the rural areas to not sleep in rooms where, very good, you put some kind of coal burning or some kind of fire burning, because incomplete combustion may lead to CO toxicity, and CO toxicity is very difficult to detect. You can't smell, taste, or make it, but it will go to your blood and create carboxyhemoglobin. Ultimately, oxygen supply to tissues will finish. You might get hypoxia. You don't get enough oxygen. Hypoxia. Dangerous, okay? Now, the last, Bengaluru airport has done something remarkable to help people with various kind of disabilities or to help the old age people. The Bengaluru airport is using an instrument that you can see in the picture here. It's called Mobility Assist. Mobility Assist. It's the first of its own kind advanced system to enable safe, simple, effortless onboarding for passengers, including some young children who cannot walk so much. That's a great intervention. Just another feather in the cap for international airports in India. That's it. Very good, Rahul. So that's it for the day. That's it for the news today then. A quick reminder about the sale in Prelims. If you are really aspiring for UPSC 2026 Prelims, this could be your chance. One last chance. At 5,499 only, we are now offering you complete GS paper 1 and CSAT. Mock paper, test paper, classroom notes, books, revision, everything, one-on-one mentorship also, and I am going to take your CSAT for you. Okay, so the sale is offered till 7th December. And how can you enroll? For those who are really aggressively preparing, it could be a very good chance of adding more professional help to your preparation by using code SPLY. You can use code SPLY when enroll, but for 27 also, you can consider a course that is only 12,499, and it enables you all prelims, mains, interview guidance. It is also valid till 7th December. So do spread the word around, please. And you can use code SPLY for the same. No matter whether it's English, Hindi, medium or bilingual, everything is included. Now, talking about the white elephant means something that is always in the background, that you don't directly talk about, but it is there. A very good example, in India-Russia meeting, America and President Trump are the white elephant. They may not directly talk about it, but you know that's the raising agenda right now. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, Rahul, what's the question? How can I help you? CSAT is a big fear. I understand that, especially reading comprehension. So one very good suggestion could be, Rahul, if you are really willing for 2026 exam. If you're for 2027, then there's no use. But if you're writing the exam in 24th May of 26, then do consider this program. Here, I will be taking all the classes, but they are paid classes right now. They are not providing it on YouTube. So then I can also engage you and teach you comprehension from the scratch with lots of practice. Okay, that's a good solution. But apart from that also, I will try to bring some kind of YouTube sessions also. That also I am planning. So that will help you. Definitely I'll help you. Okay, so take care. Yes. It's a literal meaning. Absolutely, Kishan. Something that's expensive, it's not helping me, but I can't do anything about it. But indirectly, it means an agenda that's always present in the picture. So thank you. Okay, then Gungun, Rahul, Kishan, Sanghamitra, Ravi, Aktopam, Rahul, Ramu. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you there. Anoop, thank you. Yes, we will take CSAT on YouTube. At least some lectures will come. Okay, then Kojumba, Diptesh, Sitaram, Priya, Kishan, aspirant. Who else was there with me? Sumit, Sanghamitra. Okay then. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye, Rishi. Bye, Ravi. Bye, Terukula. Bye, Reshma. Bye, Shekhar. Bye, Prajesh. Okay then. I'll see you tomorrow morning for the Hindu then. Okay. Bye, codename Hulk. Bye, Eba. I'll see you tomorrow.